it's 5 o'clock. We're going to open the Rules and Legislative Committee. Everyone's here except Anita Epperson, and Anita's called. She said she's getting a sore throat. She's coughing some, so I said that wasn't good, and she's staying home. So everyone's here, and for except Mr. Epperson. Let us pray. Our Father, who art the hope of all the earth, remember us in love, and guide us by thine wisdom. We continue to ask for care for Commissioner John Brown. We also ask thee to grant blessings upon thy servants, the President, the Congress, our Governor, and State Legislature, our County Mayor and Commissioners. Bless us with the spirit of wisdom, goodness, and truth. May law and order, justice and peace prevail. Defend our liberties and preserve our unity in honor of thy holy name. Amen. Okay, the first item is approval of the October 19th, 2021 Rules and Legislative Committee minutes.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The second item is consideration of placing the November the 9th, 2021 commission minutes. Mine said December the 21st, but that's when the standing committees meet. It should be the 14th. Minutes on December the 14th, 2021 County Commission agenda. The 14th is the second Tuesday.
Move to approve that recommendation, Mr. Chairman. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The next item is consideration of placing the notary applicants on the December 14th, 2021 County Commission agenda as requested by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the Veterans Office report was closed. There were 35 veterans that were transported to the VA hospitals, and 47 veterans came into the office in October. I also ran into Mike Bruce at the mayor's office yesterday, and I asked him about the Veterans Day Parade. He said it was the biggest ever and that everything went along very well. And also asked me to announce that the Veterans Office has moved temporarily from the basement up to room 107. I think it's right across from the county mayor's office.
It's the state room.
State room, okay. So if you need to see the Veterans officer, it's in room 107. Of course, we said the Veterans Day was great, and we do honor all the veterans and the people that have served our country and others as well that are in public service. Any other information we need to share concerning the veterans? Okay, next is a community clinic report. Of course, that's just for our own information. Again, they served a total of 96 patients. Again, I like to mention the volunteer doctors, Dr. Lua, Dr. Talbot, in the doctors and the dental volunteers, Dr. Falconer and Dr. Gray. We do want to thank them. They do provide a very valuable service for our community.
Mr. Gray?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I just saw the lady who heads up the community clinic as I was coming in, and yeah, went like this bus, and she said the dental clinic is absolutely going great guns, and she just couldn't say enough about how much it's done for the people in Bedford County who needed the service.
Absolutely. I mean, most people don't have dental care anyway, and they have provided for our citizens. It's very, very important. Okay, of course, the accident report, it's just for our own information. I don't think Commissioner Anderson's here. There you are, slipped in on me. I feel. Is anything you want to update us with that, or?
We are applying for a grant to the USDA to try to put another restroom out there, and we're going to try to do some work on the lighting in the building too. We're fortunate enough to get it. we've actually, Mark's been out there, the lighting will help us a bunch, and we're already getting a lot more events because of the previous grant in the floor that we were getting before. And if somehow we're able to do this, it'll really upgrade the facility quite a bit.
What kind of grant is it?
Outside bathroom, that way everybody can use it for more show people in 2-1. And I think that's what you and I talked about, if we can, and I'm working with Commissioner Sweeney a little bit on that actually, about getting my prices and all that, and I had David Deason come look about putting LED lights in there, that way we don't have to come back maybe. But I think if we can get that and add that restroom, it'll really be nice for the fair and the facility in general. So hopefully we're able to get it and do that.
I would say it'd be an asset for the action as well.
Can I ask you, Bill?
Yes, sir.
What kind of a grant are you looking at, Bill?
It's a grant that, I believe it could be up to $50,000 with us having a match.
Okay.
Meaning, I think, what is it, 2-1, maybe, Ann, is that right?
It's the rural USDA.
Okay, the rural USDA.
Or you get two, you have to put up a dollar to match.
Yeah.
Which with the Ag Center itself would be doing that, not the county.
And you're working with Lori Fisher there, or how?
Anna would answer that better than
Thank
me.
you.
Oh, thank you, okay.
Any other questions for the Ag Center? Okay, the next, is, old business. We have, 3 here. We'll get back to the Jimmy Patterson request. The next one is, for a bridge from his home, Union Diesel Road. The second was Jimmy Woodson for a bridge near his home on Sims Road. I had to look to see when he passed away, and I believe it was February the 23rd, so it has to be a year. It's Station Road, which we'll go through that in a few minutes. So it's not up for time to consider yet, but it will be. Well, it has to be passed as that, so I'd say in March, we'll look at it and consider it. And I believe that, Buddy Wilhelm just died in July, so he's got, I mean, that'll be considered next July, I think he died this July, so it takes a year's time, according to the rules, and then we'll consider it. Of course, we're fixing to go over, all of the requirements as well. Okay, the next one, and Commissioner Patterson, we sat right here, he sat to my right for 13 years on the Rules and Legislative Committee. They're requesting a bridge to be named for him, and, Jason.
I have a letter from the family that they wanted me to share. This is what I got from, his daughter. Dear Commissioner Sanders, Commissioner Brothers, my father Jimmy Stanton Patterson, age 82 of Unionville, Tennessee, entered his heavenly home on September the 9th of 2020. Mr. Patterson was a veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps, where he served 8 years as Lance Corporal in the 32nd degree Mason, Scottish Rites. Mr. Patterson served as Bedford County Commissioner for 13 years. During his county government service, he served on many boards: Budget, Finance, E911 Board, Bedford County Hospital and Medical, and most recently as a member of the Rules and Legislative Committee. He also served on his advisory board of Tennessee Technology Center of Shelbyville and was a member of the Community Lions Club of Unionville. Mr. Patterson retired from Cooper Steel as a shop foreman for 20 years. He also worked many years as Natural Bridge Company. Mr. Patterson served our community as a businessman, business owner, as a farmer, and a longtime member of the Blankenship Methodist Church. And most importantly, he remained a devoted husband of her loving father, husband and loving father. Our family would like to further honor our legacy of requesting the county bridge located at the 1500 block of Unionville Decent Road, which is just, if you're standing and looking out of their porch, it's just to the right at the district line. Be named as Jimmy Patterson Memorial Bridge. We would respectfully request this request by presenting it to the Bedford County Board of Commissioners November Rules and Legislative Committee, so that way a formal request can be forwarded to the full commission on December 21. On behalf of our family, we want to thank you for your assistance on this matter.
Now, of course, I've got, and I think we've got one as well. We need to, you've got a copy. I think I gave these out again. We'll do it again. I don't know if you got it with you or not, but, you pass it.
I got one.
You got one?
I got a copy.
Okay, but I mean, it's been that way for a number of years. It started, and I was, basically the one that started it. And then, it got presented, we did some work on it, Commissioner Yaki has tweaked it some, and we made some changes, and we may have to look at it again, I don't know, but we'll go through and try to, compare and contrast the two, requests to what is in the rules. So we got, in Bedford County, we named roads and bridges. We got reprimanded on one of the last bridges we named on the state because, it was on the state and we didn't have the authority or the right to do so. So some of that, we wasn't aware how that was, but we were reprimanded, and we don't name anything on state right of ways, bridges or highways. So we were corrected there at one point in time. Now we'll go through it, so historical place doesn't apply, significant person, that's what we have to look at and apply what was in the letter to what is stated here. The person should be deceased 1 year, and that's correct, he's in good order there. The other two requests in here are not good order because Jimmy Woodson died, I believe 23rd of February, this year, so he's gotta wait until then for it to be a year. And I think the other, Buddy Gillingham died the 21st of June, and he's gotta wait, nearly 6 or 7 months before we consider that request, but each request has to be taken in and of itself, each one. So that's true. The family of the person should approve the request and pay all expenses. I'm sure they will. The person shall have one of the following roles in the community and should have outstanding moral and ethical quality. Veteran he was, armed forces. We've had many veterans that have requested bridges and roads to be named for them. I believe we've turned down three, and some of them had quite a few decorations. And obviously, the longer you serve in the military, with Army, Air Force, and Navy, the more ribbons and stuff you're gonna get. Now, we tried to, it's almost nearly to the point where you gotta be serving in combat to get any of these other awards, but I think to start naming bridges and roads, I think you need to be of that order. So we've already turned down, I'm pretty sure 3 veterans that had service, and maybe one of those 3 had longer than 8 years. Some of us had tours in Vietnam, and some had longer tours than that, may have started in the Korean War and back. So, and it is, but it's not, it does mean length, but it also has to do with what you did in the service. Military awards such as Materis Service, Purple Heart, and that's obviously in combat.
So your copy says that specifically, mine does, the rules I got from the county, so that's why I'm asking.
No.
Oh, he's on the big copy.
I got this, and this is our county rules here, it's not that, this is our county rules.
No, these are county rules here.
This is what I had on file. I can look
Okay,
at
no.
we have.
Cause it don't specifically, and I'm not, whatever, but it doesn't
No.
specifically have it saying that they gotta meet that criteria. That's what I'm asking.
This is criteria we adopted several years ago.
Oh, I don't have the right copy.
Yeah. We are neither.
So which
The
copy do
one
we go
that I
by?
pulled out from myself, Bill, it's got 1A, federal, state, road or bridge, is that the same as yours?
Well, I'm reading it what it says.
Yeah.
And we've gone by this, since I adopted it, and this is what we've gone by since I've been on it. Now,
Just wanted to make sure I've got.
we've had the county mayor change, and we've had some other changes in there. This is what, we've used this from the very beginning. Now, I don't know what's in the mayor's office, but it needs to be this. We denied people in the veterans report because of this here. This is what we've been
I
going
found
by.
that one online, that's in the,
I
that,
think this is the one I sent you.
I don't know, I didn't check, I don't have it on my email with me.
I think this is the old one.
My apologies.
No.
Well, I don't know, you don't know.
Well, I'm clearing it up now.
Years.
I'm clearing it up. I know for a
Okay.
fact, this is what we've gone by for years. I was instrumental in doing this personally.
I mean, this is, I've got the same one you.
Okay, well, good. That's what we're going by.
I didn't have that.
It's absolutely what we have to go by.
Okay.
That's how we judged everybody else that's
Okay.
ever applied.
All right.
We got to use the same standard. If we don't, then we got.
Well, yeah, I
we
mean,
got- we're
I'm
opening
only as good
ourselves
as
up
what
to
I
some
have.
problems, I'm telling you. Because if these veterans that we've denied come in and all of a sudden, hey, well, I had more ribbons and more this and that, and you didn't allow me to build the name of a bridge or a part of a highway. So I'm just telling you, this is it. And I'll continue reading, but it says a Bronze Star, Silver Star, Medal of Honor. Now, probably, a normal service, you'd be lucky to get any of those, but you might be able to get a Medal of Honor. So, I mean, you've got to have distinguished, we have hundreds, scores for sure, of World War II veterans and other people that would certainly, would have years of service and need to be considered, but they don't have meritorious service, which is in there. Law officer, long distinguished service, and they said, well, what's long distinguished? I remember talking about it. Normally, we're thinking 20 to 30 years, and we didn't put it in there because, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I think we sort of rested between 20 and 30 years. That is not in there. It's not in there. You can't hold that up, but that's long and distinguished service, and what you did. And just because you're a member of an organization doesn't mean it's distinguished. And, I mean, we're all been members of stuff, but we'll go through it. Firefighters, same thing, long distinguished service, we're thinking 20 to 30 years, and are killed in the line of duty. And anybody's killed in the line of duty then certainly needs to have due consideration of honors. Okay, D is a public service, which Commissioner Patterson did have, in 12 years. In fact, he served right here, to the right of me for the 12 years he was on there. Long distinguished service, representing the people with honor, respect, and showing moral principle and intellect. He was on the roads for 12 years or 13, whatever was made note of. Community service is important as well. In other words, hours of dedicated service to community needs. I noticed in the request he was a member of the Community Lions Club. Well, when you think about it, it's good. I'm glad he is and was. But what did they do? And what did he spearhead personally to projects and stuff that did? I mean, just being a member of an organization doesn't mean you're going to have a bridge or highway. I mean, we set these standards because we were getting so many requests that we were getting inundated for requests for just this one and that bridge or county highway to be named for. But yes.
I have a question. So does it say it has to be, does he got to qualify for more than one, or just one of those in that whole?
No, you consider all of these. It just, that would be helpful if he has it.
So I'm just asking for future whatever. If I've never served in the military, but I was a mayor for 30 years, does that disqualify me because I was never in the military?
No. Oh, you can get there by any of them.
Okay,
But
I'm just saying
it has to be long and
at
distinct.
least one of them.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Okay, that
absolutely.
was my question.
Yeah, because there's some just got there with the military. In fact, I think Forrest Wells, represented us, but it went to the state, because we didn't have to deal with it. But I do believe that he received a Medal of Honor, didn't he? Posthumously, which is good. And I think that they'll do that bridge out on the state road. I don't know. It'll be left up to the state to do. There was another bridge that was done there in front of community school, and the state did that. Now, I don't know what the parameters were for that person, but we
He
didn't.
died in a Black Hawk helicopter.
Yes, he
It
was
was
killed in
the guy
action.
from Beach Neck.
Yes, and that went in, and that never did come to the county. It didn't have to because it was state, and certainly need to be done. That was absolutely need to be dedicated. But that's just another example of where it's on the state right away, and they did it. None of that came in front of the commission. And it goes on with petitions. I don't know how important that is, because I think it should have been another step on down, and that might need to be looked at. And of course, it needs to be passed before the 911 director, the road superintendent, is notified. But it is here now. I guess. Jason, since you were a part of this, and it was requested through you and the commissioners out there in the 3rd District, you could go on and ask Tina Davenport if he knows he had any other decorations in the Marine Corps other than just an honorable discharge and the general ribbons that they get for 8 years of service. And then the other thing, I just don't know. I know he was. I respected Commissioner Patterson much as anybody. We sit here and talk. He always beat me at the Rose meeting. He was the first one there. And then Commissioner Castleman and then myself, and we'd sit around and talk baseball or whatever was going on at the time, sometime county business, but most of the time other things, work or other things that he was doing. Of course, I've known the Coopers, I've known, Barry and Gary Cooper for years and years and years, and, we were at his funeral and they sang his praises. And I did too. I teared up. As a commissioner, was a great person, a good person to work with. But we got to consider this.
May I
Yes,
ask a
ma'am.
question?
Absolutely.
What did the family get? This one or this one?
I don't think the family got anything. I think they just started the ball rolling, and we just
Oh,
kind of
okay,
go from there.
all right.
I have spoken with Tina about some things, and she said she didn't have the information about any, more awards or something for the military.
So she can reapply.
Well, that's the thing, I mean, why, we should, if he's only got to have one, we shouldn't base it just off the military. If he's got to have one, we got to take it all in consideration instead of just one. We can't just disqualify him because he hadn't had all the declaration from the military, if I'm thinking right.
I think that's where some of this is, like the gray area falls into this too, and I see where you're coming from, Jason, because Mr. Patterson touches on, two
A
of
few of each one
these,
of them.
and I don't know the answer to that, but I understand everything can't be specific every time.
It's not gonna happen
And
specific everything.
these are guidelines, and so I say to this committee, it's something you all are gonna have to, I think, work out.
As a committee, I think that's what we gotta decide whether we move forward or not.
Well, I see that somebody needs to, if you're saying this is it, that's what y'all should do.
Yeah, and it ain't nobody's fault, I'm not blaming, pointing fingers about the rules, because I'm on, you know what I mean, I don't know, I'm new, so I'm trying to learn as I go.
Donna's gonna get that information to Anna, so.
Okay, that's fine.
And then share it with.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
It is.
It is, it's just not, it's the exact same thing, it's just in a different format.
We were, at that
This
time,
one is just as good as that one as far as explaining everything.
Jason, we
other
were
than-
getting inundated with things
Oh, yeah.
when that committee happened, and I think I was on property at that time, Mr. Fair, when we all worked on it, and it was just to help us kind of fine tune it a little bit and cut out some of, things, but with Mr. Patterson, it's a little bit more complicated. So that's committee, good luck.
He died in office,
I mean,
it does make.
That's
it
what I say,
complicated.
we're
And
past the
he's
military
replacing
point.
him.
We're past the military point, I think, because we don't know the decoration. But now we're looking at him as a commissioner. He was sitting chair commissioner for 13 years, and he passed away doing the job that he said he would do, and all the other things that go along with that he has done. That's the way I look at it now, at that point. If we gotta apply for if he's gotta qualify for a little bit of each, then nobody's gonna do that.
Nobody's
Nobody's gonna do that. I mean, you're the chief, you got all kinds of stuff.
What about the position of 25, this?
Well, that would have to be completed.
What's that?
The 25.
That we can, I talked to Tina about that, and I didn't, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I didn't realize that until I read it
That's
this
okay.
afternoon.
So that's
That won't be an
That's no
issue.
big deal.
If we get it to the commission, we'll have that done. Cause I didn't realize I need to talk to the 911 director either, I didn't know
Well,
about
actually,
that.
not-
I talked to Mark and I
Well,
talked to the mayor.
it's not till it's passed.
Yeah, to it passed.
Yeah, did you say he didn't qualify till February? 20?
September.
No, that's
He
Jimmy
passed-
Woodson.
That was Jimmy, okay.
Yeah, I'm just
He
saying, there's 3 requests
Yeah.
here.
He died in
Yeah,
The
September.
only one that needs to
But
be
Jimmy
addressed.
does qualify.
Yes,
He's been dead over a year.
Yes,
Passed over.
yes, he has.
So-
It was a year
and
in
that was part of
September.
the qualifications.
Yeah.
It was a year of September the 19th.
Okay.
And as I said, it went on down in, the civics service, and that goes into the last one, community service or civic. The only thing I could get out of that was the community Lions Club, had been, I don't know, and I'm not gonna compare, but, you got a lot of other besides civic things that you get involved with in the county, because the last thing is, hours of dedicated service to community needs are worthy causes of worth. Charitable work or personal contributions to the poor, neglected, or needy. And then you sort of look at Good Samaritan, or senior citizens, or library initiatives, or Salvation Army, or Habitat for Humanity or Bedford Bills, or, you know, you got a lot of other things that really needs to be, things that could have happened, you could do with the community as well, so, that needs to be considered as well. So, I would just like to, you know, I think we need to see if we get it more thorough, Jason, and we'll keep it on the agenda and,
I mean,
look at it next month.
I respect that, Mr. Chairman, but on the other hand, I think that, I mean, it's gonna be hard to find the time clock that he done, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard to go back and say how many hours he done this, or what he, or how much stuff he done that. I mean, the man is dead, it's gonna be hard to find out that much about him unless somebody's got a journal on him. I feel like, on the committee, that there's some gray areas that he doesn't maybe fully qualify for. I understand, we don't know if he's got a Purple Heart or whatever, military, but you take that into consideration with everything else, as far as 13 years of commission and other things. I mean, I don't know how I can sit here and say that he doesn't qualify on what information we do have. My thoughts, as a respectful,
Absolutely,
And I, you know,
then we look back.
but as a commission, I mean, as a committee, I'm one person, there's four of us here. That's my thoughts. And I mean, as a committee, I guess that's, I'm new to this, so you understand. As a committee, I guess we gotta vote it down, that's my understanding. You know, without a vote. That's my opinion. I don't know, that's what I've gathered, that's what I've tried to learn, so that's where I'm at.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, may I make a suggestion?
yes,
Why don't we defer this for 30 days? Let's get Jason to find some more information.
That's
Find
fine.
a little more information, get the 25 names, get the 911, get all the information you need, so that the chair is satisfied that we've got the accurate information to make a decision. Because
Correct.
right now, there's too much gray area. We need-
Correct procedure.
And
That's-
go through the
that's
process.
fine.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we defer for 30 days before we
Okay.
act on this.
well, that's what I suggest, so,
Then I concur with your suggestion.
okay, all right. So second to, okay, just a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so it's perfect, 30 days.
Can I ask one more?
Yeah,
question?
absolutely.
Before we go any further, as far as the road superintendent and the 911, that's if we're changing the name of a road or something, I think that's where they come into play. And you're talking about putting a sign at the bridge,
Yeah.
right? Mark, does that make sense? I mean, is that the reason that y'all are notified if we wanna change the name of the road?
From what I understand, this is my first rodeo with
Yeah.
bridge changing or anything like that right there also. The road part, I would have more say so in the road part, the road list that y'all, the commission has to approve every year.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for that part of it. The bridge part, the bridges are under my jurisdictions also, too. So I think that's why that's probably set up in there from what I understand.
Yeah.
Where it's gonna be placed.
Yeah.
Cause you've got the weight limit sign,
Yeah.
And you
and
probably
we
gotta-
talked about it, you got a weight limit sign, and if you add this one, he needs to make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, and the proper.
And
I'm sure it's gotta have some maintenance around to keep the weeds and stuff. out.
Well, I mean, you can't just go out there and drop a
Yeah.
fence post in the ground because there has to be certain breakaway points in the sign.
Yeah. The road superintendent, I have to give my, say so, blessing, I guess, for
Yeah.
anything that goes on these bridges that I'm responsible for on that part too. I think that's one reason why that road superintendent probably in that part right there. But I stand alone of being responsible for the roads
Yeah.
and bridges.
And then the 911, that's in case we change the name of the road or something, so they'll have, so that,
it's
I
also
don't
the
know that he would have
cross-check, cross-check on the
Yeah.
911 mark, because, inflection now is that you not have a name like Mark Thomas Road
Road,
anymore, that,
exactly.
because of the confusion, for names, but, it's just sharing the information.
Mr. Fisk?
The other names, who submitted those names? Woodson and Wilhelm?
They were submitted to the county mayor's office,
Oh, the county
and then
mayor's
they're
office.
referred to us.
But they don't qualify for the years.
I can probably answer it for you, Steve, on the Wilhelm part. The Wilhelm and Mr. Patterson's family contacted me first, and I sent them to the mayor's office to go through the proper procedure, go to committee, go to the commission.
If they have submitted that, don't they need some guidelines and submission?
They're still quite a ways away, but I agree with you.
Yeah,
But they
you
need,
should,
so we're not going through this again.
yeah, but with that, they need to know the rules, and they need 25 names, so.
I don't, my understanding though, Chairman may tell me if I'm wrong, we won't need the 25 names unless we go to chair, or do we need them before the 30 days?
Well, if it gets, not until it gets pushed to the commission, and then the commission will have to happen.
Well, let me ask you a question.
So it's,
Okay, never mind, we didn't pass it.
Okay, I was just, to me, it would be a common courtesy, here's the rules, after these 12 months, you have the right to make the submission.
well, they were supposed to be given a copy of the rules whenever they submitted from the county mayor.
Right.
And it should have been the ones that
I think they're worded, it just, that really breaks it down in detail where this one is.
that's the only one I've ever seen. I've not seen the others. The
Mr.
others
Chairman,
I've been
I think
over.
that 25 names on the petition should come, I think we wanted it come with the request, so that the community has had that involvement.
Support.
Right.
Well, I've got a question. So what do I need to do, what do I need to tell the family more information on? They need to be more specific. What do you?
Well,
what
we
ask?
can, you know, he was, when you look at the request then, how was he decorated in the Marine Corps? The service is good, but we had many people that served our country. We have many World War II people that have died now.
Okay.
And when I first put this in, they served over there, and they were in harm's way, but they weren't highly decorated.
Okay.
And then the second thing is, of course, you have to, you know, some people are working as public service, some people in public, you know, Don's commissary, you got other people that are elected and serve most of their career in public service, and same thing volunteer fire. I mean, y'all got to one up, because y'all are in public service now. He stayed in private, which is fine, and most people are in private, companies or hired with, and, you know, with private such, so, there's a difference there. Again, and he's good, I know he was a great foreman for Cooper Steel. I talked to him, they gave him a Rolex watch when he retired. And I asked him, I said, well, your watch is gonna be more accurate than mine, because it's a Rolex. So, you know, and then others, you know, I know he had a store out there, and he was a fine gentleman, a farmer, a long-time member of Blankenship United Methodist Church. All those are great and good, but, you know, it has to be a little bit more than that. Again, when you talk about community, you got all them other organizations that could come into play, like Good Samaritan, Senior Citizens, the Salvation Army, the Bedford Beatles, or whatever.
I mean, is there a thing he's got to
There's
have
not, but it has
so
to
many-
be applied.
So many years of doing this, or so many years of doing that, or,
No,
I mean,
don't overshoot it.
But it
that's
says,
what we're trying not to do, but it's not enough, so I gotta shoot a little more, I think.
yeah, well, it says,
I
long
thought-
and distinguished. Now, you do need to come up with what he did.
I feel like I ain't got a gun to be shooting with right now.
Well, you,
I mean, I thought we was.
this
I mean,
is
it's
pretty
that-
big to name a
but I
bridge
understand
or a
that, but
road.
we go back to what we're saying. The qualifications of a man to have this, he's gotta meet one. We're still thinking about he's gotta meet 25. You know, what I mean, it says one, this person should have one of the following roles. One. They don't say a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one.
Let me clarify this, maybe, Jason, help you. Now, if he's got that Medal of Honor in military service.
Let's just take the military
I'd say that's
service
good.
come out of it. Let's
Okay,
just
we
move down
can.
to,
Okay, we're going to public service. Well, is 13 years enough to serve on the commission? And he did serve on this committee. I served right next to me for 13 years. Is that enough? I mean, what did he do? Was he a chair, assistant chair?
you know,
How many initiatives did he bring or not? I mean, distinguished, that's where it leads to, is to leadership, okay?
One thing that might help is to maybe ask the family, do you serve on any boards? Do you have any, I think, or you're just wanting more information, is what it sounds like.
Well, yes, particularly when you get to community
But
service.
But it's still gonna be
Which
up
is
to
easy.
every person that votes on it, on what, if they think that's good enough. That's
yeah, I mean, right now, I feel like we're basing off of one person's thoughts. We didn't even vote as a committee to even think that we could even, if we, as a committee, not one, we as a committee thought it should be enough. We based off of one person's thought of the rules, that he has the rules. We're basing off of one person's thoughts, not the whole committee.
It does seem like you do need more information, like in detail of like what boards they served, what, I mean, just have it kind
I
of
think
laid
we
out.
just need to get
For
a
each
short
person.
biography
Yeah.
from his family.
We need his journal.
you know.
Well, we know that. The other thing is the community service. You know, I did see the Lions Club, but was he,
So you don't have any years at Lions Club and what he did in the Lions Club?
well, if he's an officer or
Okay.
what
I
initiatives
mean,
did they
I'm
do?
open for anything.
Well,
but I'm just-
absolutely.
I mean, I'm in this spot to make sure
It's
everything's done right
pretty
too,
specific.
just like everybody else.
I'm gonna tell you, we turned down 2 or 3 veterans already. And we've never approved anybody with less than 20 or 30 years of service. We hadn't approved it one, as far as I remember, and that's Eugene Wright.
What I've been
It was
told
state
is,
deal.
if Bill asked the family for the 8214, that'll tell you everything he's done in the military. Any decorations he's got. Brian, you served in the military, is that correct? That should have his,
DD 214, and if he's ever had veteran services, like VA hospital, they'll have a copy of it. If he's
Yeah.
ever been to veteran services here, they'll have a
and that
copy
might
of it.
help you on the veteran side of it. And then as a commissioner, that'll,
Yeah,
you
my
know,
group's
a family will write a biography, you know, as a commissioner, here's where he was. That might clarify a lot.
Any other discussion or questions?
So we're gonna defer it to December.
Is that a motion? That's a motion to second. It's already passed. It passed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't see any vote. Okay, back to the agenda. We got, number 6, item 6 is standing committee membership, annual review, the Rules and Legislative Committee, acting as a nominating committee, which we do, shall submit the nomination of standing committee positions to the Board of Commissioners, based partially on seniority and individual preference. All standing committees of the Board of Commissioners shall be elected annually by a majority of the Board of Commissioners at the January term of the board. Nomination requested by December 21st. That should be the 14th. Well, it should be the 21st because it's rules and legislative, which that is the 21st. So, and it's been sort of the fact, if you didn't have somebody to swap with, you're pretty much gonna stay where you were. I mean, if you get 10 votes, you get somebody to vote somebody off, you're gonna, good luck with doing that. So, I mean, that's just, it's not gonna happen. So I guess.
Seniority don't mean anything.
No, I mean, you're talking about stirring up hornet's nest, that would be it. So I don't know, if you got somebody on another committee that wants to switch to your committee, then I'd say it's a done deal. I mean, if it's a mutual feeling and you wanna do it, then great. I mean, you know, 'cause I wouldn't object to them, suppose anybody else on the commission would. But good luck finding somebody who wants to switch.
We can't swap.
Well, you can switch, you
I
got
guess
to
I wanna
submit
swap.
it. You got to submit it.
How do we go about doing it? I need to see you in?
Bill, and that's December 21st on number 6, that's really the 14th, you need to have it done by then, if anybody wants to.
Okay,
Make a
yeah,
move,
well,
right?
that's what we said, but.
No, it goes to committee on the 21st and then it goes to commission on the January.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's right,
It's the other dates that were incorrect.
gotcha. So that one's good. So let you know by the 21st if we want to.
Okay, are there any announcements? I think there are 2 or 3.
Couple of them, Chairman. One, I think we need to submit our county road list for approval, to be put on the agenda here for next month's agenda. And secondly, the Shelbyville Bedford County Partnership is having a reception from 6 to 7 on Monday, December the 6th. And I believe it is being held at the high school, Old Harris High School.
Shelbyville Central High School, who graduated before it became Harris.
And I think it's now King,
Yeah,
Gary King.
It's gonna be a museum.
So it's a very important meeting. I think everyone will be very encouraged when they come there because you'll see what the Shelbyville Bedford Partnership is doing and the strides they're making and the accomplishments we're doing. And I think this commission has played a large, huge role in all of us in what we're doing in moving Bedford forward. I'm very pleased to make that announcement. I hope everyone can attend.
Hey, what did you say need to be on the next, does that need to have action here?
It's just a formality to
It's
place it, just that you're placing it on.
Okay,
the-
no, we won't need it.
I'm confused.
It's just an announcement.
It's an announcement.
That we need to.
Well, we've had some issue before when we just placed it on the agenda that whether or not it needed to come through, just as a formality to be placed on the agenda. There was just some confusion, so we were just trying to follow protocol.
It was my understanding, you come for the committee, to go to the commission next month, you have to vote on the yearly process, and you have to deal with others.
On the road list.
Yes.
On the road list.
Yeah, that would need to be voted on, put on the agenda for county commission meeting in
That has to
December.
be done.
Yeah, if it needs to be done, we need to do
We need to
it.
do it.
Okay, you make the motion.
All right, the motion is to put it on the agenda at the December meeting for the road list.
Okay, second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Was everyone good with the process, how I done it last year, the packet that I gave you last year, where it was easy to read and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
nice.
That's gonna be the same process that I'm probably gonna
You know,
do this year.
I tell you what helps me is if you can email it to me on a spreadsheet,
Yes.
because I compare it to what we have in our database
Okay,
for roads people live on.
okay.
That's how I keep that up to date. And I don't have to have a printed copy, if that'll save you some paper, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of paper.
They were just accessible at your site.
Yeah, I think they said that if we had to have ours, it's,
We have to have-
You have to have
the roads does.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know about everybody,
I think.
but it has to, you know, you submit it to the budget finance and
Yes.
on through, because that's where you were.
Right.
And it's never been submitted to the budget finance, it's always been submitted to the roads. That's why I was applying that on again. So I'm sorry, it has to come from the roads.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, it is what it is.
That's not a problem, yeah, I think you have, at the commission part, you have to physically have a copy
Okay.
by the roads in the state.
Yeah, because we're gonna
I can
save
still-
money.
I can still email you, what I'm sure you.
Okay, Commissioner Thomas, had this announcement, and I'm reaching out to invite members of the Shelbyville City Council and the Bedford County Commissioners to the relocation and opening of the new Shelbyville Drivers Service Center. This will be this upcoming Monday, November 22nd at 10:30 a.m. The new location is at 200 Dover Street, Suite 108, Shelbyville, Tennessee, 37160.
What time was that?
At 10:30 a.m. Is that correct?
That's the email I received today, and I think, from what I saw, everybody was supposed to got that.
Yeah, James H.L. from, Tennessee Government, it's Tennessee.gov. Okay, Commissioner?
Oh, while all the committees are here, we're in desperate need of about 40 to 50 more, mentors for Tennessee Achieves, so if your heart is so felt, contact maybe Anna or me or somebody, and we'll get you the information it's really painless. The worst thing is just getting all the emails, but as far as the students go, they don't wanna talk to you anyway. But we need some more volunteers.
Okay, any other announcements?
I have a question, as far as changing the meeting, when is that gonna be turned into 21st of this month, December? December?
December, okay, 21st.
Okay, any other announcements?
No, sir.
Do we have all? Okay, good. If there's no other business come before the committee, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, so much.